The word choice is like a diamond. I don't believe the evil exists. I think any evil, or like dogma for that reason as well, is like it's just part of the being. We are living in a this and that world. It's not straightforward. I mean, evil, read backwards, it's live, yeah? It's a part of the living.
Well, I have a friend here, very, very wise, intelligent, beautiful soul named Universal Theory.
Uh-huh. We talked about him, remember?
Yes. Yeah. That's where you saw me the first time.
Yeah.
So, Krista, it could be suggested that some things are optimal and suboptimal. That's what he uses. Those are the terms he uses. Which is, for example, and this is part of the topic tonight on Dogma, spiritualists want to be completely free of any limitations, and that's okay to each their own. However, the principles are always there. Cause and effect is a reality. So, this is part of the discussion tonight. Can some things be considered good for you and not good for you? And maybe it's different for every person.
Yes, I think that's why, the word choice is like a diamond. For a human being, the word choice and the action of the choices, that we always have to be in the process of choosing ourselves and choosing our processes.
Yes, and of course, I would have to say maybe redefining what is good and evil. That's what maybe we need to look at as a society, a collective.
Yeah.
A lot of times dogma will demonize beautiful spiritual gifts, and that's not what we want, obviously.
Not at all. He was calling the evil, he was calling the money the evil, and I disagree. Even though the money doesn't have a hold on me personally. It's kind of like, when you are on this spiritual path, there could be one moment when you kind of like, you want to forget what money is, and you kind of like decide to walk other direction. You still on the automatic do your money duties, but kind of like the whole thing of money stops existing for you. I did go through a few years of that, yeah, somehow I got a little angry with this person. I don't know. Maybe it's something personal and individual. I don't know. Anyway, as you see, I'm not perfect and not everything clear in my sky at all the time, 100%.
I hear you. I feel you too, Anna Krista. And you're right on topic tonight. This is more or less what we're going to talk about. So that was a good opening round. Thank you for that.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. You sure have the ability to keep everyone on the tiptoes. I checked 3 or 4 times today, like seeing what's gonna be the topic. I bravo you, dear Alien T.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
Yeah.
That's kind of you to say. Thank you.
Okay. See ya. I'm here.
Sometimes I'm on my tiptoes waiting, for my intuition to guide me with the topic. It came a bit late. I thought I would post something on the weekend, but nothing was coming through until today.
I see. Yep. Listen, 3 or 4 times on your live, I was gonna say it, and I never finished the thought. The thing is, everybody thinks that the thoughts are father of speech. First you have thought, and then you start speaking. But actually speaking itself is the mother of thought. So it's very important to open your mouth and begin speaking, especially when you are surrounded with the conscious people in the same vibratory field. And then you have new thoughts.
Yes, I take no credit. I just collect from the ether, just like we all do, really.
Yeah.
I think it's our experiences that filters those ideas and concepts, and we express them differently. Okay. But there's only one consciousness. Yeah.
Thank you. Love being here with you, and I will wait for my next turn. Okay, so let's begin. Just now, you said something speaking to Sage, and you said, if we are not going to limit the infinite, then something, and then you said, who was there when you thought you got enlightened? And immediately my soul was answering that there was me and all of the different kind of parts of myself. It's like earlier, as real was speaking, me, myself, and I would say I. And actually, like myself, me, and I, if you look at it, it's like all can have like different meaning, the different significance of the meaning. So yeah, recently I was talking to someone and explaining like how I led several religions through myself, making it a personal experience. And first time ever, I counted on my fingers like 6. And the number one religion was infinity. Like when you say, I'm alien, I'm not from here, and you say it with all of your certainty, like, I know that I'm not from here too, and I think like from childhood, it was my thing, the infinity. And the religion that I practiced most of all, it's called Sikh religion. And Sikh is literally translated as a student of infinity. So.
That's beautiful. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Sikh means, that's the poem that I read 18 years, 10,000 hours out loud, hour and a half a day, called Japji, Song of a Soul. And the guy who began Sikhism is Guru Nanak. And that means, it's like, no, it means negation of negation, which is one law of 3 laws of dialectics. And dialectics is something that is totally opposite of dogma. Because dialectics means that everything, absolutely everything, is in a constant change at all the time. That's kind of like, I think, beginning of dialectics, I mean Hegel, the science of logics, and all of those thesis, antithesis, triads and all that. Many triads by Hegel. But I think it all began in the ancient times when, who said, was it Heraclitus who said, you don't enter the same water twice? Because by the time you already put one foot in the water already flew. And, a lot of spiritual people want to say, I'm present. Present is now. Be here and now. You can be here, but you cannot really be now, because any breath you take, any sound you say, anything you do, as soon as, like, if you are just like conceiving of it, it's in the future. But the moment you begin doing it, it's already that very second, it goes into the past already. And so present is actually kind of like, it's kind of like a little bit of an elusive thing. So.
Yes, it is. Technically, if you're using the carnal mind, if you're using the physical mind. You know what? I've been meaning to say this as well. I'm sorry to come in, but you brought it up, and it's beautiful. You cannot fully consciously be aware of the present moment because it's gone by the time you are perceiving it. However, it can go through you.
You know what? Why I don't like to say hello and goodbye? Because I actually live beside time. You can be truly in the present when the present stopped, kind of like, because the whole time thing stopped existing for you. Then you are becoming a particle in eternity, and that's the now.
Yes, but for spiritual or philosophical discussions, I think the now, what is meant by that, in my opinion, my understanding, is letting go of anxiety about the future and regrets of the past, and focusing on this beautiful moment we have together right now, for example.
Yes, but you speaking about emotions, and emotions only one of 4 basic bodies. Like there is a physical body, everyone is aware of it. no matter how spiritual in the brackets, how spiritual you are in the quotes. But the emotional body is kind of like egg around us, because emotions not only inside the body, they're floating around us on the stretch of the arm. And then mental body is everywhere, but spiritual body is a ubiquitous body. Spiritual body is a body of light. It's a free flying electrons, and every electron has some information. And the God, the presence, the creator, is the consciousness that is present for all of this, for every cell inside, and for every, like, any micro, anything outside, quarks, leptons, whatever electrons are made of, everything is like, it carries information, and it carries information through the light. I don't want to say something like kind of like widely known, but when Sage was speaking about spirituality and was saying that spirituality has to be fluid, yes, because it's in the movement, it's in the process. All of that, like none of the electrons is like standing even inside the cell. Any atom, they are vibrating and they are oscillating, and sometimes they are flying out. And so yeah, it's like a balance about like what vibrations you are choosing, and some steadiness of your frequencies, because that, notwithstanding the dogma, it's the steadiness of who you are, your essence. Because we are, as humanity, we bring in like lots and lots of cakes, lots and lots of vibrations to the table, and all of it is beautiful. So, talking about dogma, when you said M, God, the ma, because if you, ma is not fluid. Ma stands for mother, matter, the condensifying, the densifying matter, but the true fluidity in the other feminine syllable, which is wa, or like water, wa, or like va, like the one in front of Jaina, also feminine, also with water, also holding water when it grows life. And but ma, and by the way, mother, even like energy, mother is Eric Newman, The Origin of Consciousness book. He's one of the students of Carl Gustav Jung. And also his book, The Great Mother, a really thick book. Mother is not the one-dimensional thing. The feminine energy is a controlling energy. Masculine energy is more like free-going, careless, creating energy, which can be seen through the spirit. Soul, that's why I always say soul came to experience all the lightness and all the dark. And it's a feminine energy that is a lot more controlling than masculine energy. And so no wonder that dogma, ma, is condensifying, densifying, and does regulate some of the control. And by the way, ma-me in my native language, Turkmen language, is a particle suffix that comes after the root of the word, and it means negation. And in a way, that exactly this word, dogma, if I would say it in Turkmen, dogma, the literal meaning of it, don't be born. Dogma is when something is not allowed to change. But which part?
Whoa. Say that again, please.
Dogma, the one that you were bringing here, dogma. The definition of dogma.
Your line about, I'm sorry, your line about change.
Say that again?
Your line about change, that was huge. Do you remember it?
I said that mami in my native language is a suffix which comes after the root, and it means don't do it. It means negation. And I was explaining. I think you said don't let things change. Dogma, it's like don't be born. And dogma in English by itself when the change is not allowed. Dogma is when something gets like hardened. It gets like put in the concrete. And it says, don't allow the change. That's dogma. And it's funny how in Turkmen it's like literally. Because true spirituality, it's like it's always change. And like you cannot stop that change. And the humanity, however long it lived, from lighter bodies to the denser bodies and going back to the lighter bodies, everything in the universe has changed. But at the same time, there is some consistency of not being changed, which is not quite dogma, but I think it's our essence that wants to be festive and be life confirming, and that's our essential parts of ourselves. Because we then keep doing the same spiritual choices, so the part of us is unchanged. For example, we keep. By the way, I don't think if you ever catch me on cliche, I don't use love and light. In fact, I think I always had kind of like some part of a. If I hear cliche, I may not trust less. Anyway, and if you catch me on any cliche, then please let me know. But yeah. Anyway.
I personally don't have an issue with love and light unless it's bypassing the reality of something.
Yes, like.
And it's just meant as a sugar coating or a band-aid.
Yeah.
However, to me, one can attain love and light and exist in that realm, in my opinion. And so there's a difference. Two different people can say it, and I'll energetically receive difference.
Yes.
Different energy from both. So it's not the phrase itself, but maybe the truth of it behind it.
Yes. The deep psychological truth is, like, if you just stay in love and light, you kind of lose on your energy, because it's exactly in the darkness we receive energy, we accumulate energy, and you descend from time to time to darkness to get that energy and come back with a new gusto. I think it's a good place for me to stop. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Ana Krista. So you did say my favorite line so far tonight. It limits the change, and that's what dogma does. And this is when Christ said, I am one with the true living God. That's what is meant, because, and Azrael, we're going to go to Azrael next. Azrael did say something about, ancient scriptures being written for that time. It's maybe a little different now, perhaps. So, thank you, Ana Krista. Was there something else?
Listen, I realized that I didn't translate the first part, dog. Like somebody was saying, dog. You were saying, God. So, recently I've been asked, so God means backwards dog? But the thing is about the dog, not mentioning the creature's faithfulness. And actually, in the past, a free spirit, because they were made from wolves, right? But for example, Sikhs, the men and women, they carry the bracelet on the hand, and it symbolizes the color of the dog, because they call themselves, I'm dog of God. And dog of God, that bracelet symbolizes, And in my Turkmen language, when I said dogma, dog is actually birth of something. So dogma is don't be born. But the true essence of do and true essence of spirituality and us human beings being spiritual, that we are in a constant process of birthing ourselves. That's how we become multidimensional. That's how we become expansive as cosmos. That's how we can grow infinitely in love and compassion. And from time to time to still play with darkness if we still have this flesh. Because if we are walking around in the flesh and under the sun, it will throw the shadow.
Yeah. Well, you're speaking to someone I honestly, and I'll defend it to my, to no one. Okay.
Do you feel like you need to defend something?
No, I'm going to say that I was about to say, I no longer see dark. I see it all working together. It's the duality working together as one.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't judge either side.
Awesome. Me as well. Mwah! See you later.
I'll blow you a kiss too, but Mrs. T's right next to me. Oh my goodness. Okay. No, she's smiling. She loves you, by the way, Anna Krista.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I bow to you. Thanks.
Thank you. Hi, Anna Krista. Welcome back.
Hello. Wow, it's been a while.
It's a long wait when there's 8 people. Yeah, I'm trying to find the perfect. I may go back to 6. That seems to be. Maybe I should have just stuck with that. But yeah, here we are.
Okay, so dogma and spirituality. There was at the moment, like earlier, I was speaking about thought being father of speech. But then when you begin speaking, the speech itself being mother of thought. Like, I'm surprised I'm still kind of like my eyes are open and it's bright around me. But I think it's been a while. I was kind of like really sleepy. So it's going to be interesting because at the moment, unless my speech will arouse some thoughts and I will remember some pieces and parts as everyone spoke, and I related to all of it. And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting how my speech, how it's going to be a mother to my thoughts. Okay, so for a very long time, I defined spirituality as the science of invisible. And people who know me, they know that I dealt with the science a lot. That's why I have so much education. 9 diplomas in 3 different, absolutely different spheres, and 250 attendance certificates, and a lot of other things. But yeah, so spirituality is the science of invisible, because invisible, it's like the same as like my first religion, infinity. Things around us that we can measure and to which the dogma has applied, they are manifested visible things. But Creator and our true spirit and soul inside us has the keys to lots of portals of yet unmanifested. That's how we are made in the image of God. And the true spiritual journey is it's kind of like the journey to the infinite. When you found the infinite, but that's the infinity that brings a lot of freedom and space and timelessness. And in that infinity, in true spirituality, when lots and lots of portals open, they open the space for you not to judge anyone and have the space for everything that exists in the people's humanity's world. And you can still do your not discerning part, but not judging. I mean, in my world, the opposites, they coexist absolutely harmoniously. There is a space for everything and everyone. So, okay, I also wanted to speak a little bit, like I think on your lives, I already repeated several times, but I want to speak about dogma as door, and door. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si. The 7 notes, they actually correspond to the 7 chakras bottom up. And the root earth element, Muladhara. It's like a door because that's how you are born. And in the earth chakra, you are connected to 126 people before you, 6 generations before you. Then Re is like ray, vibration of light, vibration of creation, see, co-creator, Re, sexual, Swadhisthana. On one side, it's your seat of your own because it's water. It's the very first original waters that created all that is. Fire and water created everything that is, and water has different shapes and forms. Humanity knows only 4. On other planets, there is a lot more different shapes of water and fire. But it's like rare, it's like you and one other person, Swadhisthana sexual chakra, and that's how you create babies. And then me, as like in the very beginning, as Real was saying, when I'm me, I'm by myself. When I'm with all of like society's people, I'm myself. But when I'm all by me, I'm me. And the third chakra, me, do, re, me, solar plexus, it's like, as I said, Muladhara, first root, earth, you and all of your people, all of the groups that you were associated with, Re, you and one other person, sexual partner, and there could be several, but it's like one at a time. And me, in the third Manipur fire, it's like you standing there all by yourself, you and your physical self. Your physical self, it's a fire, it's how you digest your food, it's how you get acid reflux if you are old and not healed. And that's the fire, acid, hot energy coming up. So anyway, and then only when we come to the heart, I really love how the insight went all in all about like how the root is heart. And heart, of course, it's like the middle of the torus, right? I mean, in our bodies, human bodies, the heart connects above and below. And then the heart is air element. In a way, it kind of like actually also contains our ego, because in the Manipur, third chakra, fire, where you are by your physical self, which actually businessmen have very strong because they can project the will out of that solar plexus forward to 5-10 years, because that's how they see their business and their development. But why the heart can be also ego? Because it's an air element, and it not only connects above and below and above, but also it's an ego, because the air around you, the egg around you, ego has a design, it protects you. And lots of people who get lost in spirituality, like my favorite young Oscar Rose said, Oscar Rose, that Oscar Rose, your vibe is gonna keep you forever young, I promise. Okay, my favorite person to listen to, guys. Why the ego has a protective function? Because it basically kind of like air. It's kind of like when you become smart, you know? That's the air element. In French tarot system, it's pentacles, not earth. Pentacles is air in French system. So because the smartness, your organizing mind, when it's into the higher qualities of the mind, not lower qualities of the mind, separate the ego, but higher qualities. The more you develop in your spirituality, reach for journey of the infinite, to reach on the journey to the infinite, the more your mind gets this ability to unite, not separate, unite. And when Perfectly Flawed was talking about math is dogma, sweetheart, you were kind of like mixing two different things. I mean, dogma is logos, but it's a frozen logos, and when the change is not allowed, the law is not dogma. Some laws, I think, change, and math actually is also evolving science. It changes. I mean, some of the math things are like stay unresolved until some Perelman comes along and finds that thing that everyone was looking for. So it's actually, yeah. But so basically, yeah, heart, ego, air, egg around you, your aura that protects you. And air, as developed mind, it kind of like comes together, crystallizes, and then starts like using crystal. It's not like frozen dogma, it's a crystal. Crystal always permeates the light and accumulates the light, and it's a prism of light. And out of the crystal, then a rainbow can be born. So anyway, then we go higher and we have our throat, which is actually subtle water, and it's bow to you. I'm the person who figured it out. Never ever I heard the throat chakra, Vishuddha, being called subtle water. It's etheric water. Saliva is wet. Voice carries on when it's wet. Water carries the sound the best. And then you go to your third eye, ajna, and that's a subtle fire. And subtle fire is the primordial ocean of images. That's how the fire and water, primordial masculine and feminine, came together and made all creation. And it still continuously is being created in some other new possible universes because it's truly infinite and it's beautiful. And well, and then so do, re, mi, fa, mi is the solar plexus, and the businessman, I think they're like probably they have to stay totally egotistic, like to achieve the business goals. But then comes the heart, the children of the rich people who could not work because the wealth is already created, and they could walk into unconditional love. That's how humanity develops. And then, so, fa, you see the note for the heart, because the heart then, air, unstrung, anahat, unstrung, energy can start expanding with that love. First, it has to overcome the ego thing about like necessity to protect yourself. And all of the like spirituality, like Young Rose said, I came to it and I didn't finish my thought. Young Rose said, like when mind becomes uncomfortable with uncertainty, and then it's looking for the places to hide behind the dogma, behind the things that person is not ready to open to the change yet. So anyway, far, heart can go far. And then sol, the throat. The throat is like, sol is salt in Russian. And the throat, when we speak, we shape new things. That's how the mother can give the origin to new thoughts, new dimensions. Yeah. And then la is the third eye. There you go. When you have a harvest of the images, and when the images, the subtle fire can talk to you without words, there you can find yourself now approaching the heart of God, the true throne on which God sits, creating without words, because the words, the text, it's below, it's far below, high above, pure fire, pure water. When water gets even subtler, when it can dance with that subtle fire, it's like when the universes, where the universes are created without any words, without any swords, without any text. It has to become text when it starts wrapping into matter, enveloping in the matter, and coming down to earth to manifest, to dress itself into matter, into the mother energy on the more harsh levels. So, but up there, the true infinity becomes so beautiful. the worship of beauty of God becomes so beautiful, and it's all available when you are able to go through that door. Or lots of doors kept by the doors, by the portals of the when Dogma wants to catch you, saying not change, unchange. Yeah, true math is evolving with the true beauty of God, the only creator. So soul, salt, is the throat, and la, that's la 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 la, la 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 la. La La Land is your third eye when the text is far below. And you can ride with the God, the halls of the infinity, just being admiring the beauty, the infinite beauty of the true essence of God. Yeah, and then you go to your Sahasrar, the southern petal lotus, and in that you already can be like kind of like in that sheer amazement of the thousand variations of every single instant. And you know, one of the dogmas in spirituality is when, some of them you touched upon, you know, this and that, this and that. But the thing is, in spirituality, people also, lots of people say, today I watched one guy, his name is Zon, but it's like John, only instead of J, he has X on the front. And the man is sitting, the young man, with very, I mean, I'm not saying it like to judge it. I just want to make a point if I get there. So he has really manicured fingers, very long, like a painted manicure. It's a young man, and he has a real amazing microphone because it's like he collected the live flowers, or maybe it's not live, I don't know. But he put in the microphone in a tall glass, transparent glass, and he put the microphone with live flowers, and he has really kind of thing on his head, which is kind of like he's like a fashion show, you know. And he keeps talking about his ego is like a 1,000 pounds thing, metal on his feet, you know, dangling him to earth. He's like so enjoying everything he's saying, how smart he is, you know, and how he can perform, you know. And so it's totally not the place of the ajna third eye, and not the place of the southern petals of the sheer blissful joy and presence. Because he didn't, I don't believe he learned the taste of silence yet. Silence is called shunya. Shunya is where those spirals come down to earth. Spirals are shrutis, spirals. And spirituality, why it's the signs of invisible? Because spirituality has this word, spirit. It's from the same word as spiral. Out of silence, God creates in silence lots and lots of beauty and infinite universes. And then when it starts descending down in the spirals, they come, and all the people with developed ears, it's called sound vector. On my YouTube channel, Rainbow Gold School of Life and Spirituality, I have, I think, 1 or 2 videos about the sound vector. The people with developed ear are the people who are familiar with silence, and that's how they channel the heart of God, the pure essence of God, the parts of God out of infinite, unmanifested, that is ready to come to people who live only in the first 3 chakras. And Alien T, you said earlier, how can you not have a respect for the person who had experiences that you haven't had? And guess what? If you didn't have experience of being total drugged and several times passing, like almost dying out of drugs, that's the experience you didn't have. And if you haven't been heavily addicted, because of, I mean, that's a spiritual design. I'm not going to go there right now. But that's experience you didn't have. If you haven't been homeless, that experience you didn't have. And if you haven't been in jail for a long time, I mean, 7 months at least, 10 months at least, like 12, a year, whatever, you know, then that's experience you didn't have. And I'm done. Thank you for listening for such a long time.
Thank you, Anna Krista.
You are welcome. My pleasure. Thank you. Mwah! See you guys.
Anna Krista, I'm very observant. You're good. I'm with you. Thank you. Welcome back. Final thoughts from you?
I do have some things to say as a final round, but can I ask you some questions first?
You guys can always ask me questions, and
It's
as a matter of fact,
questions.
I always wonder why I don't get more questions. But yes, go ahead.
Listen, joining the whole choir, praising you. One of the things, like, it's a real good community, you know, and I guess it's because you creating this space as a stable space. In Tarot, it's number 4, actually. In 1, the one unity is just ever expanding. 2, I'll say later. 3 is actually triangle is fire, but it's not stable. It always wants to lick and expand, but it leaves the dark, burnt space behind. The 4, the square, is the first thing of stability. And you create a stable form here, and stability is good. And so basically right now, perfectly flow, when he was talking, he was missing, and that's why he says, like Anna Krista said, law, how is law is not dogma? Law is structure. Law is actually, in French tarot system, is number 8, it's justice. Like 4, stability. It's like bringing some order. Otherwise it will be chaos, and everybody will be like rak, lebedь и щука. Щука is a teethly fish that wants to go into water. Swan wants to fly into the sky, and the rak wants to go back into the marshes. Anyway, so yeah. And the law is justice, and it's not to be mixed with dogma. Because the 9 numbers in numerology cover all the ground, you know, it's actually 2 is the most dogmatic. Because after the wildness of 1, who wants to run around and explore everything, expand, the unity, expand in all of the individuality you can think of. Then the 2 comes, and 2 is controlling number. So, and that is so funny, but like a high priestess is the one who appears to be pregnant, but she is not pregnant. It's an empress who gets pregnant. A high priestess is pregnant with infinity, and she, in a way, she wants to control that infinity too, because she keeps mystery about it, and she doesn't open her mouth and doesn't speak up. But exactly because of that, it's like God dogma, you know? So she's keeping that secret part of the structure. But you are actually kind of like, you are true essence of emperor here, but it's a very kind emperor. It's not the king who gone crazy. It's the really good stability emperor. So yeah, the 1 to 9 numbers, like earlier I talked to 1 to 7 notes, musical notes, and everything, that's why I call it rainbow medicine, everything makes sense when you understand. And understanding is not knowledge. Knowledge falls shorter. Understanding is like standing under this huge architecture of creation, with inner infinity, with unmanifest, and like out of silence, shunya, sensing things and putting things together. That's understanding. It's very beautiful. But knowledge is just rows and rows of facts. And just in the same way, 1 to 9 is like it's very organized. Everything, the creation is organized, and or that is called logos. It's like it's a beautiful thing. Anyway, my practical questions now, because now I did say what I wanted to say about numbers and dogma and spirituality. Spirituality is actually elated fire, number 9. It disappears, God's number comes back. Anyway, so my practical questions, because this is such an amazing community of the field, it's organized field also, it's invisible. But people come here and it's a field, and exactly here, thought as father of speech and speech as the mother of thought. Because of the field, it gets new qualities, like new spaces to explore, and therefore comes up with new creation and co-creation of new sparkles in the thought. The field creates it, and you are like emperor holding the space. So I'm glad I began recording just my own voice when I speak on your lives. And so, but sometimes when you interact with me and you ask questions, your voice gets captured too. My first question, am I allowed to keep your voice? Because I'm going to turn these into the videos on my channel. So am I allowed to keep your question increments, or is your preference so that I totally erase your voice and just keep my own speak? Because I'm creating here when I speak.
Yeah, I don't have any intellectual property rights. Feel free to use it, absolutely. As long as it's done with the integrity of what it, if it's not taken out of context, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that covers it. Thank you so much. You know that I'm very passionate about the field, and I really love how the invisible moves into the visible, And like it's interesting when Oscar Rose and you began talking, you actually were kind of like both speaking about the field, like that driving force, invisible, but it's kind of like there, in the moment, gluing attention, bringing everything together, driving force. And you probably have done the lives on the shadow issues, but one of the ways like actually to serve and to show how the field really works, and how the meaning from invisible moves into the visible. Like if we had the common theme, 4 people or 8 people, and for example, we actually it's a little separate but could be the same thing, like the topic is the most intense shadow moment, and each would like share most intense shadow moment. How the field works, like some, let's say another topic on any, like some shadow aspect, and then people share their experience, and then they say only one number, 1 to 120, and I take the mark, and when my turn to speak, that number that they picked, because soul guided to that number, but that number is a constellation of the whole rich field that answers all the questions. And I can translate it from Russian, just like straight to English, and the people will get that enlightening moment, like with something unresolved. And it's like really curious how the field can actually come together.
Thank you, Anna Krista. Good suggestions, everyone.